Hey guys, I'm trying to figure out if I can send out a link to let other people know that we're back. If anybody can find the link and get it over to the old chat before it shuts down. Boy, YouTube really didn't like that, did they? I'm working on it. Hang on just a minute here. Just loading very slowly. No, come on. Man, they really slowed this down for some reason. They must be on to us. Okay, there's the link. Almost got it. I don't know if the old one's still going to be active or not. No, the chat's not active. Oh well, we tried. We got some. Okay, some folks found it. That's good. Let me see if I can. Oh, that's not what I want to do at all. All right, now we gotta close. Oh, maybe this. No, that's done. That's done. Okay, can you guys hear me? You know what? I still got the old chat open, even though it's dead. All right, try this one more time. Probably it'll work. It's just a matter of getting the right one in the right place. Okay, so we go. All right. My apologies. We tried. We tried. What are you gonna do? We'll try again next year. Hey, we got like 5 minutes of it in. That wasn't so bad. I don't understand. Other channels get away with showing whole movies, and they change the size, but boy, they shut that down quick. We could reenact it. Yeah, I could just act out the whole thing if you want. What I can do is I don't need these anymore. I could play it on my screen and then just act out all the parts for you. Fade the screen and pause up. Yeah, maybe something like if I change the aspect ratio and put a border around it or something. I don't know. Hey, we got to see a little bit of it. Cole, I really don't know what I know what all those words mean, except for rup. I'm very confused. I will indeed smoke a pipe, David. I don't know if I'll get a strike or not. We'll see. Maybe if I smoked a glass pipe, they would have let it go. Oh, but okay, okay. It all makes sense now, Cole. I just needed context. I was thinking YouTube copyright violation, and you were talking basketball. Okay. I know, Ed. You know, it's just sad that they took that away from so many people. And, we get so hung up on, oh, we can't disenfranchise this group or that group and everything. Well, why are we denying people the right to, well, it's not a right, but the opportunity to watch such a wonderful classic cartoon? It just seems sad. No problem, Steve. You can't be late here, especially tonight. They did buy it, Gary. They did, and you know what? It makes me hate them even more. Yeah, poem. Well, that would get annoying really fast, wouldn't it? Doug, I know the law is complex and slippery, believe me, and I know what we're doing is wrong, or what we tried to do is wrong. But at the same time, I think what they've done is wrong by taking it off network television. It was a national institution. It would be like, and we're moving towards this. Don't get me wrong, we're moving towards this, but it would be like if you could only watch the Super Bowl on Apple TV. Would people stand for that? Charlie Brown flip book. I could try that, Dad. I could make sock puppets next year and do the sock puppet version of It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's sad though. It's such a wonderful show, and all of the Peanuts are just they're so wonderful, and it just bothers me that people just can't watch them. You don't like my sock puppet idea, Dave? Gary likes it. I did know that about book titles, Doug, and I find that to be interesting. Yeah. The Skipper's Cap from Gilligan's Island sold for $10,625. My goodness. Every time Bob Denver got hit by that, he was getting hit by over 10,000 bucks. Which doesn't mean as much today as it did then, but it meant something then. So The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown was released in October 1966. Um, so in my lifetime, there has never been a Halloween where it wasn't on network TV until Apple did what they did. Oh, referring to the Super Bowl on Apple did. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's not unthinkable. I mean, there's already football games you can't watch unless you got a streaming service. Gary, sadly, okay, yeah. I saw Bad Dad's idea of the hot pants, and I thought, well, yeah, maybe. But then Gary immediately made me think, they would probably raise more for that, Gary, and that's just really creepy. Ginger Grant evening gown sold for 7,800. Some of the clothes she wore were actually in big motion pictures and were worn by big stars. They reused some of the wardrobe. Not enough titles to go around. That's kind of surprising, Doug. But I guess, yeah, I guess you can. Well, for example, if you're writing a textbook and it's called algebra, there's only so many variations on that you could do. I can kind of see the logic in that. Liberace wore some of Ginger's outfits, Phil. So another interesting thing about the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, because I did do a little bit of research before this. I occasionally do research. I don't always just turn on the camera and start blabbing. Um, Lukester thought Freddie Mercury bought the skipper's hat years ago. Okay. Um, it is Apple, Jeffrey. It is the evil empire, or they want to be the evil empire. They're not quite an empire though. Anyway, please don't make me go on an Apple rant. What was I talking about? Oh, the other interesting fact about the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is that it was released in Canada before it was released in the U.S. It was like the day before it premiered in Canada. And I see Patrick Grant is here under the pseudonym of Rush Fan 3. Good to see you, Patrick. Hope you don't mind that I blew your cover. At least you don't have numbers. There was. Oh, you know what? The numbers seem to be gone now. That's interesting. Everybody had numbers after the name for a while. Lucy would have been pulling out a hockey puck. Yeah. No, it really is true, Lukester. It was just by a day. Northeast Sig 676. That's hard to say. Good to see you, buddy. Good evening. Oh yeah, Carrie still has numbers. Okay. And maybe Northeast Sig is not really 76. Maybe that's a number that's been appended. Okay, so some folks do still have numbers. Big Dave has numbers still. Yeah. 5707, which has a digital root of 7, Big Dave, just so you know. I like the number 7. Hey, Peter, you still going on that bowl of haunted bookshop? Because I still got mine going. I didn't say it took place in Canada. It just premiered in Canada. Northeast Sig is from Boston? Oh, welcome. Did Gilligan's Island ever have a Halloween episode? They had some spooky episodes. I don't know. I think there was one with a vampire. There's one with ghosts. Giant spider might count. You just finished, Peter. Well, I'm still going. But to be fair, I've just gone out and I've got a bigger bowl, and I started late, so you probably would have still beat me if I started pre-show. That's a good question. I wonder if anyone is going live from Vegas this week. So, speaking of giant spiders and such and Halloween and whatnot, I don't know if any of you guys watched Svengoolie last week, but last week Svengoolie did Young Frankenstein. It was wonderful. Peter's moving on to Sleepy Hollow from 2017 in his Peterson Halloween pipe. Very nice, Peter. And Dan Falcon just finished up his haunted bookshop and is moving on to Autumn Evening. Wonderful. Is anyone moving over to Rumble? You know, Northeast Sig, I'm on Rumble, and it used to be that I could just have my videos automatically cross-posted to Rumble, and they broke that. And I uploaded a couple over there, but it's not worth it. You know, the interface is terrible. Nobody watches them. I put the videos over there and they get like 4 views. I never get any comments. I mean, the community just isn't there. So yeah, it just hasn't been worth the effort for me. I get that we want to have an alternative and all that, but look at those knockers was probably it's one of my favorite lines in that show in that movie. Yeah. Yeah, Doug, I know. And you know, the problem with this World Series is that no matter who wins, it's bad for baseball. You having good weather, Phil? We had pretty good weather today. I mean, it got up into the mid 50s, and my plan was to work from home in the morning and then take a half day and actually do some leaf wrangling. But that went up in smoke with work becoming much more involved than I hoped it would be today. So, walk this way is definitely fun. Okay, so those of you that are fans of Young Frankenstein, you've seen the Walk This Way thing where Marty Feldman, I mean, it's hilarious. It's an old joke, and it's hilarious all by itself because, Marty Feldman actually wants Gene Wilder to walk in the manner that he's walking when he says walk this way. But what makes it really, really funny is he hands him the cane. I mean, that to me just, it breaks me up. And I was really shocked to find out that the inspiration for the Aerosmith Walk This Way song was actually that movie. They had seen the movie and they thought that was really funny and they wrote a song about it. You're right, David. Next step would be Gilligan's Island. Because honestly, I when I think about what I'm going to talk about on the Friday night live stream, I think about Big Dave because we have three things in common: our love of peanuts, Gilligan's Island, and questionable seal jokes. Questionable penguin jokes, I should say. Bad Dad, I don't know if that's a nice way to say it, but it's a way to say it. I'm going to get another pipe going. So I am now going to smoke the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli. And I'm going to put some Hornet Bookshop in that. You may wonder why I'm smoking out of the luxury pouch tonight. Phil wants a backstory on Walk Like an Egyptian. I could make one up. Yes, Woody, the putting on the Ritz was fantastic. That's my brother's favorite part of that movie. And those of you that don't know, my brother's he's 5 years younger than me, and he's autistic. Not to the point where, just to the point where he's socially awkward is what it comes down to. But he likes to have fun. And when I got married, we had them play the original version of that song for him because he liked it so much, and he actually got up and danced to it, and it was so much fun. He had a great time. But I'm annoyed with Svengoolie, and I'm going to start rotating through my large number of Halloween tampers. I was surprised at how many Halloween tampers I have, but this is a favorite for sure. I love that it's a bolt. See, it's actually got the bolt and the nut there. That's clever. What was I just saying? I'm annoyed with Svengoolie because I really don't like. This is going to be really boring for any of you that are not Svengoolie fans, but so Svengoolie, Rich Koz, who is, oh God, I don't know how old he is, but he can't keep going for that much longer. I mean, he's not a young guy, and he's been doing this for 40 some years. So I think he's starting to realize that he's going to have to retire. And they got this thing that they call the Sven Squad, and it's these three characters. One of them I think is funny. If you know the show, I really like the Nostalgia Ferratu guy. I think he's funny, and if he took it over, I would watch him. But the other two are just annoying. They're really annoying, and I hate that they're sort of setting these people up to replace him, and I just can't stand them. Well, they now do a double feature every Saturday where Svengoolie hosts one, and then the three of them host the second one. I won't watch it. I just won't watch it because I'm a cranky old man that is set in his ways. And last week they did Young Frankenstein, which I loved, and then the Sven Squad did the original Frankenstein, and I love that movie, but I didn't watch it because I just can't stand them. What fish, Gary? I'm lost. Don't like Rob Zombie, though. A little too weird for me. I want a Svengoolie t-shirt too, Bad Dad, and I hint to my wife all the time, but she hasn't taken the bait. No, Svengali was like a 19th century mystic that lived in Russia, Phil, and Svengoolie is a TV creature features type host. Oh, yeah, that's so they have so MeTV has a morning cartoon show called Tune In With Me, and one of the hosts of that show is Toonie, the tuna, which is a puppet of a fish. For a while, they had a second show come on after Svengoolie that was, I think it was called Sven Toonie or something like that. And the fish puppet hosted it. It was actually not bad. And they showed really off the wall movies like Bucket of Blood, is one that comes to mind, Roger Corman, that kind of thing. And I enjoyed that. The humor was pretty good on that. They did a lot more sketches and stuff. That was okay. It was annoying though, and the fish was annoying, and he's got a ongoing battle with the Svengoolie puppet chicken. Boy, if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you're really confused now. But he doesn't show up much. So northeast to Sig, you're having trouble getting flavor out of salty dog? That is sad, Bad Dad. Steve smoking Cornell and Deal from beyond. Nice. You didn't like the fish, Gary? Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like a fan of the fish, but the show wasn't bad. Yes, Thanksgiving Day will be out from LJ Peretti, November 1st. I still have plenty left from last year, so I'm probably not going to order this year. Bad Dad's got plum pudding. Nice. Yeah, Sig, sometimes I find that when that happens to me, I need to just reset my palate. And what works really well is I smoke a cigar. I don't know why that works, but for some reason that can really reset things for me. Might be the last Rougarou? Really there, Briar Gecko? I didn't know that. Oh, that sounds good, David G. Carrie, I might have it here. If I do, I'll show it to you. Of course, my ability to find it in this mess is guaranteed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to sort through this for a while, but yes, that is the sound of tobacco jars. 'Cause I was gonna keep one jar of tobacco in that drawer years ago, and now it's filled to the brim. Uh, Thanksgiving Day is how do I put this? It's a pressed cake, but it's not really a crumble cake. It just breaks up into ribbons. I think it's a loosely pressed cake. You don't like it, Donnie? I don't know. I look forward to it. I agree with you, Doug. It's not a particularly full flavor profile on Salty Dog, but it is a pretty nice mild Virginia. It's smooth. I'm not a Virginia guy, but it's well aged. It's got some deep sweetness to it. I mean, I would prefer it with some Perique, but such is life. Yeah, Thanksgiving Day is an odd blend because it does have a topping on it, and the topping varies from year to year, in my opinion. Sometimes you get it, and it's very heavily that Peretti, whatever it is that they put on their tobacco that you light it up and you go, oh, this is a Peretti blend. But other times it's very spicy, and I don't mean that in like a Perique or like a hot sense. It's like pumpkin pie spice kind of. That's gonna make Phil gag. I should have said that. But like cinnamon and allspice and things like that, and it's really good. But it just varies from year to year. Oh, Ronnie, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope your mom is comfortable and feels better soon, and I'll certainly be praying for her. And folks, those of you that are prayers, please keep Ronnie Ewing's mom in your prayers and send her good thoughts if you're not the praying type. Are you referring to Salty Dog, Phil, or yeah, you must be referring to Salty Dog. So next week we're going to do. I'm going to try to do some classic. Um, oh, go to a different tamper. This is a really cool one from Larry. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but it's a skull being held by a skeleton hand. Next week we're going to do some trivia. I'm going to try to do classic horror movie trivia, and that should be fun. And I was thinking for Phil's benefit, of maybe getting a pumpkin beer. You know what I'm going to do? Give me just a minute here. I'll see if I can break YouTube. Well, I can't do it from here. Well, maybe I won't be allowed. Son of a gun. I was going to try to set up a poll. Anyway. If you think I should get a pumpkin beer, put a 1 in the comment. And if I get 15 ones, I'll get a pumpkin beer. In Phil's honor. David, I have smoked the wrappers from the Leaf by Oscar. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm not counting zeros or twos. 7. I feel a lot of people want to see me drink a pumpkin beer. So far, just 7. And by the way, if you want to see Phil drink a pumpkin beer when I interview him next month, put a 5 in the chat. Gary put in 7 ones. At least you're honest about it, Carrie. You could have just put in 1 7 times, but you We got 2 5s. People hate you, Phil. 3 5. 4 5s and only 7 ones. 5 5s, 6 5s. 7 5s. We're tied, Phil. We're tied. Phil takes the lead with 8 5s. 9 5s. Oh no, Phil. 10. No, we're not allowed to do minuses, Doug. Oh, but I just got a bunch of 1s from the Briar Gecko. So between that and Carrie's 7, I think I'm well over the threshold. The 5s are still racking up, Phil. For those of you that don't know, Phil is famously aversive to pumpkin beer. And I don't like it either, but I have this bizarre thing where I drink one every year. Every year we go out to dinner, my wife and I see it on the menu, and I say, you know what I'm going to do? And she says, you're going to order that pumpkin beer, aren't you? And I do, and I regret it, but... Okay, we can stop voting. We should have to split a case? That's just cruel, Lukester. Spoiled MREs. There you go, Phil. Oh, Wilmington Piper. I'm not going to do that to Phil. You don't have to do it, Phil. But I will if I remember to pick one up. I'm not going to buy a six pack of it. I'll have to go to one of those, make your own six pack things because I do not want more than one. I don't know how people drink Jägermeister. I really do. You have to be drunk to drink Jägermeister. There's your outfill. You're too remote to find pumpkin beer. It hasn't gotten up there yet. Gary's giving me a time check. 9:22. We got 8 minutes. Hey Yusuf, good to see you, buddy. I don't know, Carrie. It tastes like licorice for a moment, but it's got so much other stuff going on that ugh. It's like every bad cough syrup I had to take as a child put into one spoonful. I like Vegemite, Ghost Rider. I actually like it. I think the trick with Vegemite is you have to know how to eat it. And I learned how, you probably won't like what I'm about to say, but I learned how when I was in New Zealand and I stayed at a bed and breakfast type place, and the host actually showed me how to put it on the toast with the butter and stuff, and it's quite good. Have to, do you mean you like the last billiard, Phil? Like Buckley's, Patrick? Yes, yes. And yeah, I know you're supposed to drink it ice cold from a shot glass, but swallow spit soup and steamed silkworm chrysalis. Well, Phil, that's saying a lot. I like absinthe. I like absinthe a little bit too much. I really enjoy. I went to an absinthe tasting a couple of years ago. I guess it was now. Uh, my wife and I, we're going to go over a bit. So Gary, I'm sorry. I know, I know you were doing a time check, but we're not going to finish up on time tonight. Um, we went. It's got to be at least 2 years ago now. We went to a steampunk festival, and the reason we went, neither one of us are into it, but she watches Brokenwood, and there was a whole episode about a steampunk festival, and she thought it was kind of interesting, and she saw that one was coming to town, and she says, "You want to go just for fun?" And I figured out what the heck, we'll go people watch, and we had a blast. It was just so much fun. We didn't dress up or anything, but we just people watched the whole time, and we met a bunch of people, and we had a ball. And one of the events they had was an absinthe tasting. And I thought, well, heck, we'll sign up for that. And not many people liked it, but I did. And we're like tables of about 10 people, and you got one bottle, and everybody poured out a small shot and sipped it. And most people got up and walked away, leaving half the shot glass full. And there were like three of us left, and we just sat there drinking it. It was a good night. Bud E, beer and energy drink combined. That's interesting, old pal Piper. I vaguely remember it. You think I'm getting close, Phil? Phil's coming. I finished billiard number 8, but I'll show it on Sunday. Jägermeister and Captain Black Grape. That's a pairing indeed, Luxter. That's a good question, David. So, Carrie, when you drink the absinthe, do you do the whole sugar cube thing and all that? It was a lot of fun, Carrie. It really was. I've got some great stories from that weekend. Because we actually stayed. It wasn't that far away. It was only about 2 hours away, but we kenneled the dogs and stayed overnight because we wanted to make the most of it. It was a lot of fun. Piper on the 45 running late. By the way, Piper on the 45, you are Piper on the 4598 tonight. Because for some reason everybody's got numbers bended. Oh, Zima. No, no. I don't know, Phil. I've had some. I've tried Zima back in the day, and I've had some pretty awful pumpkin spice beers, and I gotta say, I think the pumpkin spice beers win. Not that Zima was good, but I can't say Zima was worse. Oh, Phil, you're a good sport for it. I love you, buddy. Carrie, interesting at this tasting event, they told us that the whole sugar cube thing was not the proper way to drink it. Apparently, that was something that was invented later, and if you want to have the authentic absinthe experience, you should just drink it straight. That may have just been because the organizer of the event was too lazy to buy the spoons and the sugar cubes, but I don't know. You're a survivor, Doug. Well, I burned through that haunted bookshop pretty quickly, didn't I? All right, Yusuf. Safe travels, buddy. Thanks for dropping in. It's great to see you. Lukester, that's the closest I've ever come to doing a spit shake on a live stream. Oh my goodness. Dilutes and sweetens. Yeah, I could see where that would be good, Carrie. Yeah, David, it wasn't like, passing out drunk or anything. It was just a very, I don't know, maybe it's because it might have been more psychological than physiological, but, you're told that absinthe is special and that, the effects it had is different. And honestly, it felt different. I didn't feel like I was just doing shots of whiskey or something. It was more warming and more relaxing than whiskey. But of course, I was also in a weird environment. I believe it's a true story, Lukeser. I believe it. And we're in. I probably shouldn't tell the full story, but I will. So we're sitting at this table, and most of these people are in costumes because it's a steampunk festival. Um, I'd say at our table of 10 people, probably 5 of them were in costumes. I shouldn't say most of them, but maybe about 5. And a lot of people left, including my wife, who befriended a woman who baked cookies. It's a long story. So she says to me, I don't like this. I'm going to go over and talk to so and so. And I said, okay, I'll be here, or if I'm not here, I'll be at the bar later. And so she goes off to do her thing, and I'm left there, and everybody else is leaving on it. So it's me. This is a strange story. So it's me, and on one side of me, I've got a woman who's dressed as a 18th century vampire. She's in like a big gown and stuff, and she's got the teeth and the hair, and it was very Elvira-esque, but with this sort of Victorian. That wouldn't be 18th century. That'd be 19th century. Or maybe I got the century wrong. Anyway, Victorian gown and Elvira looking. So she's on one side, and the other side of me is a woman who. Okay, I'm going to say this. It's very hard for people to believe what I'm about to say, but I swear to you this is true. She is in a a unicorn costume, like a furry, fuzzy unicorn, head to toe, like she's some sort of a mascot. And she told me, and I swear to God this is true, that she is a unicorn. She's not just pretending to be a unicorn, but she actually is a unicorn. And I saw her several times during this weekend, and my wife talked to her as well. And she her goal is to be able to visit schools and talk to the children about the unicorn lifestyle and stuff. Oh boy. So those were my absinthe drinking buddies. And yes, you can imagine it was an interesting night. I like ouzo, Gary. I like ouzo and I like grappa. All right, Big Dave. Have a great night. Sorry we couldn't do the whole show. I really wanted to watch the whole thing, but such is life. It was an interesting night. Yes, it was. But that was what was so wonderful about this weekend because we met all these unusual people. And some of them, okay, so the unicorn, there might be some issues there. But most of them were just normal people acting out and you know, living a fantasy that wasn't harmful or anything. It just was fun. And they were having fun, and we were having fun watching them. Uh, Doug, I could have hummed that, I guess. Absinthe drinking buddies. Yes, yes, Clay. That's what they were. I wish I had a picture of that. It was interesting. Oh, good Lord, Doug, I did not ask. Although I'll tell you one more story, and then we'll end this. But one more story from the steampunk weekend. Uh, so I was, I don't like crowds. You know this about me, and I would during the daytime when there wasn't any events really. It was just like meandering around and talking to people and buying stuff. There was a lot of stuff for sale and all that. Um, I would sneak out to the smoking area and light a pipe and smoke a pipe. And about half the time there'd be somebody else there smoking a cigarette or something. But we acknowledged one another, but didn't really chat much. So I went out this one time, and there's this guy there who's dressed in, you know, I don't know what to call this, but like working man clothes. You know, just like average like guy that's heading off to work, kind of, you know, jeans and a flannel shirt, that kind of thing. And interestingly, he only had one arm. Um, well, not interestingly. I mean, he only had one arm, and he's smoking a cigarette. And so I nod to him, and he starts, yeah, oh, you got a pipe, you know. And we're talking about pipes and cigarettes and stuff like that. Nothing very deep or intellectual or anything. And then this other guy comes walking up to us, and he's all decked out. He's got the goggles, and you know, he's like something out of a Jules Verne novel, and that's fine. You know, hello. We say hi to him, and he pulls out a thin black cigarette, a clove cigarette or something like that, and he lights it because he's you know, one of those guys. But it's all good. You know, we're all standing out there smoking, and everybody's happy. And for some reason, the conversation turns to religion. And you know, I'm Roman Catholic, and one-armed man is some denomination of Christian. I can't remember what. He might have been a Lutheran, but I can't. I honestly can't remember. And Jules Verne is Jewish, and we're talking about Genesis and creation myths, and we had this like really interesting discussion about the creation story in Genesis and how it relates to other religions' creation stories, and it's interesting because if you every religion has a creation myth, and every religion has a flood myth. And we were talking about that and the idea that all religions are essentially the revelation to man in a way that particular culture can accept it. So it's not like there's three different gods for the three of us. It's one God, but we've all seen him in different ways, is the idea. And, you know, it was actually a remarkably deep conversation to have standing in the smoking area outside of a hotel with, you know, three random strangers. And it was enjoyable, and we were all having a good time. And I'm standing there smoking the pipe, and I look over, and coming out of the hotel is the unicorn. And I thought, oh boy, I hope she's not a smoker. And she walks over, and she sidles up to the one-armed man and puts her hand on his shoulder and says, "How are you, dear?" And I had been having this conversation with the unicorn's husband. Uh, so there you go. And again, nothing against them. I just, people are people, and everybody's different, and everybody's got their quirks, and I kind of love it. You know, I kind of love that I had that conversation with those people, and I kind of love that one of them was the husband of the unicorn. Your other forgotten button. Yeah, thank you for that, Phil. If you could hit the thumbs up on your way out, guys, it does help. And it's not just for me, it's for the whole pipe community. You know, let people know that we're strong. And show that jerk that didn't like my audio this morning. Misinterpretation of a rhino does make sense. The unicorn did have a horn, Doug. She had like a headpiece that was part of it was attached to the back of the costume that came up, and it had a horn coming out of it. Yeah. I mean, the sad thing about it is it looked like the unicorn costume really needed to get to a dry cleaner. And yeah, I think a lot about the one-armed guy, and because he clearly was not into this stuff. You know, he was not dressed as a unicorn wrangler or anything, unless that's how unicorn wranglers dress. I don't actually know. I've never met a unicorn wrangler. I should take that back. But what must he be thinking? Like, yeah, my wife's a unicorn. I don't know. Uh, anyway, folks, we should draw this to a close. We've gone over by quite a bit. Sad that the peanuts didn't work, but we knew that was a problem going into it. I'm glad that you guys found the second attempt here, and yeah, thank you for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. You've helped me get rid of some of that stress I had at the beginning of the show from my rather hellacious day. And you know, I always appreciate you guys. I always appreciate hanging out with me. So next week we're going to do some trivia. I wish I could do a contest of some sort, but the trivia thing just doesn't work. You know, I can't. There's no way that I can do it in a fair manner to give out a prize. So we'll just do it for the fun of it, and I'll see if I can get some classic horror movie trivia questions for you all. So thank you. I really appreciate you all. You all have a great weekend and a great week ahead. I'll be back on Sunday with something or the other. Maybe do something a little spooky for Halloween. We'll see. But until next time, cheers. Take care all.